today to represent a very capable, able, well-deserved presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, likely Tinubu Abubakar, who I very respectfully and fondly call AAA. So, but before I do that, I have a prepared speech, which are his words. But before I do that, in my capacity as myself, and I think I'm eminently qualified to speak in my capacity as well, I'd like to thank the organizers of COPA. I'd like to thank you because it takes multi-layered engagement such as this to tell the Nigerian people that this demographic is the strongest, most mobile, most articulate, most educated demographic, and we're going to take back our country. This is the point where we say that all the young people, sadly I left this demographic a few years ago, but then I sometimes pretend that I still am because I admire you greatly. Our leader, Bolaji Abdullahi, just said to us that they're not going to leave the stage. And while we recognize that the old brooms, and I hate to speak about brooms, terribly, knows the corners of the house, it is the new brooms that sweep better. What Nigerian democracy requires today is a disruptive element. And we will be disruptive positively. We will take back our country because we recognize that democracy is stubborn, but it's fragile. And it takes the stubbornness to work. We know that people expect us to throw up our arms in despair. But I always say to people that the same amount of effort it takes to throw up our arms in despair is the same amount of effort that it takes us to throw up our arms in resilience and defiance. And so, we shall show the defiance that is required. Democracy is not self-enacting. It takes the active participation of you and I. We have to want it badly enough for it to thrive, and sure we want it. Now, on to the prepared speech. Ladies and gentlemen, it is again, I say, my honor and pleasure to represent AAA today. And his speech goes thus. Despite the harsh realities of our present moment, I congratulate every one of our compatriots on being part of the longest unbroken stretch of democratic governance in the history of our beloved country. From the rich cultural diversity of the West to the resilient farms in the North, from the vibrant, bustling streets of the East to the oil-rich communities of the South, and the Niger Delta, today on this Democracy Day, I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude to God, a quiet determination for rectification to set things right, and an abiding commitment to heal our land. For 27 years, through thick and thin, you have refused to abandon the promise of June 12th, the promise of freedom, the promise of prosperity, and the right to choose leaders who will serve you and labor for the common good of our potentially great nation. Today, I speak to you, the mother who works tirelessly and sacrifices daily to provide for her children, to the young graduate, and to the equally gifted young person denied the chance of an education, both daring to chase their dreams against all odds, and to the farmer who tills the soil despite the grave dangers that have become the feature of our times. You are the true heroes of this republic. Your resilience inspires me every single day, and it challenges me to walk the long road of building a Nigeria worthy of your unwavering commitment. I wish you a happy Democracy Day in the shared conviction that, as the creed of our party, the APC, reminds us, Nigeria will yet again arise and shine. Yet, even as we celebrate the ideals of freedom, transparent governance, and social justice, we must confront the bitter truths about our democratic reality under the present administration. We hold elections periodically, but 70% of Nigerians do not believe these exercises reflect their wishes or allow them to vote out bad governance. We possess democratic institutions, yet too many of them appear weaponized against the very people that they were created to protect. We have a robust politics, but governance is plainly absent. We celebrate democracy while the hollowed out version is served to us daily, marked by constitutional overreach, creeping illiberalism, and a stubborn refusal to submit to the checks of accountability. Ambitious annual budgets have become rituals honored more in reach than in observance. At a time when our country faces the gravest security challenge in its history, only 7.11% of the defense budget has been accessed. Democracy, sadly, has not translated to prosperity. The cost of living crisis has exploded into an unbearable burden that is crushing ordinary Nigerian families. Fuel, food, transport, and medicine have become luxuries that few Nigerians can afford. Our national debt has ballooned beyond manageable limits, mortgaging the future of our children, while debt servicing devours the revenues that should be invested in education, healthcare, security, and infrastructure. Bears witness to all these. Food insecurity has become synonymous with our daily reality. The statistics are staggering, and the warnings of impending hardship now haunt millions. Farms lie fallow, markets stand empty, and far too many of our people have grown accustomed to going to bed hungry in a country that cannot even guarantee their safety. Youth employment has reached epidemic proportions, condemning our brightest talent to idleness and despair, and driving an unprecedented wave of brain drain and forced migration as our young people seek better lives in lands that are far too often unwelcoming and hostile. Nigeria's standing, regional, continental, and global, has plummeted. Once the powerhouse of Africa, we are now merely tolerated and too frequently sidelined on the world stage. The days when Nigeria sat confidently at the table are fast becoming a memory. Corruption thrives with impunity, almost as though it were a national sport. National unity is threatened by narrow parochial interests. Our democratic structures, systems, and institutions are suffering an erosion whose malignancy has spread to every segment of our bleeding society. Most heartbreaking of all is the mounting insecurity that has turned parts of our country into a land of terror, bloodletting, and mourning. Our citizens are cut down by the day the senseless tide of violence. Our brave but overstretched military and security agencies bear the brunt of our collective failure to support them with sustainable policies, with the vital non-kinetic instruments of this war, and with resources that this fight demands. Under President Tinubu's watch, we have lost gallant generals, soldiers, and other security personnel in the struggle against insurgency and banditry. Today, we mourn the dedicated teachers who have been murdered or taken hostage, caught in the crosshairs of the conflict that seems to defy every solution. We remember the innocent school children snatched from their classrooms and communities across the country. Some killed, many still held in captivity, while their parents wait, hope, and pray for a deliverance that does not come. Insecurity now threatens the very fabric of cohesion that any nation must rely on to build its future. Administration came into office, a painful pattern has hardened into something close to normalcy. Wave after wave of abductions, ransoms, and killings carried out with ever greater audacity. Unchecked criminality pervades our land, and terrorism has taken root and continues to spread. This escalating violence has turned our citadels of learning into places of fear. Our children, the cradle of our country, the very future of Nigeria, are paying the heaviest price for this failure of leadership. My fellow Nigerians, the question so often asked, are the lives of ordinary Nigerians better today than when President Tinubu took office? The honest answer for millions is unmistakable. We're far worse off than we were, and no amount of economic narrative can disguise it. This is the painful reality, and it must change. We need a president who is truly patriotic and genuinely empathetic, who understands the struggles and sufferings of our citizens, and who carries the experience and solutions to confront them. We need a president who can balance pragmatism with principle, who knows the difference between politics and governance, and who understands the simple truth. Insecurity is not defeated with press releases or platitudes. It is confronted and defeated head-on with implementable budgets, sound policy, commitment, consistency, engagement, accountability, empathy, drive, and justice. Our nation deserves a committed commander-in-chief who will never neglect his most sacred constitutional duty, the protection of lives and property of the citizens of Nigeria. My fellow citizens, this can never be the democracy that our founding fathers and heroes believed in, fought for, and were martyred for. I, Atiku Abubakar, your presidential candidate on the platform of the African Democratic Congress, stand before you today as a true Democrat in every sense of the word. I have won and I have lost. I have sacrificed and I've known defeat many times, but I remain undefeated in my faith in the democratic order. I am a believer in the unity of our diverse nation. I'm a leader who knows this country intimately, loves its people deeply, and embraces its people without apology. I have ties to every part of this land, and I understand, embrace, and celebrate our unity, our diversity, and our shared challenges. The task I seek is not merely to name our problems or to apportion blame for them. I offer a genuine and proven alternative, a path of competence, compassion, integrity, and decisive action. I offer a new direction and a clean departure from previous failure. Together, you and I, we will confront insecurity decisively. We'll take back our country, downgrade insurgency and banditry, secure our schools, protect our communities, and enable our farmers feed the nation without fear. We offer action, not excuses, and we're ready to shoulder this daunting task, whatever it may demand. An ADC federal government will bring the cost of living crisis to an end through urgent practical interventions that restore dignity to the hardworking and innovative citizens of our country. We will secure our food supply and will tackle wage stagnation in realistic ways and on credible timelines. Abroad, we'll restore Nigeria's pride and stature as the leader of our sub-region, a leader on our continent, and a respected power in the wider world through a confident foreign policy that places Nigeria's best interests at the center of every international engagement. At home, we will restore dignity to our institutions by guaranteeing a truly independent legislature and judiciary, an independent INEC and central bank, and security agencies that are properly funded and equipped. We will reclaim our institutions so that they function as democracy intended, offering checks and balances, protecting the guardrails of democratic process, and safeguarding the freedom of every Nigerian. Covenant with you. We are pregnant with a new Nigeria, one that will be born come May of next year. A nation where hope is not a slogan, but a living, breathing, and achievable reality. My fellow countrymen and women, in conclusion, let this Democracy Day mark the beginning of our collective turning point. Let us raise our voices against the steady retreat of democratic practice. Let us stand firm against every attempt to silence the opposition and to criminalize those who demand accountability. Let us resist the pain of state capture and embrace a new dawn driven by the power of the people. Let us choose unity over division, competence over excuses, and genuine leadership in 2027. We are ready to reclaim our country, to rebuild our institutions, to protect our children, to carry nation building beyond rhetoric, to heal our fault lines, and to reunite our people into one secure, prosperous, and just nation, the nation you and I all deserve. I am Atiku Abubakar. I am tested. I believe in you. I believe in us. And I'm fully aware that the stewardship I seek is delegated by the Nigerian people, exercised on your behalf and solely in your interest. Together, with your endorsement, and more importantly, your votes, we can make this work. God bless you, and God bless the country.